Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic, last known classics. This is episode number 2545 and Doubleshot 2439. Yeah, two street level hero ones. I've been meaning to get back to these two for quite a while, for about a few weeks now, and now here I'm back to it. First up, basically, we have is Moon Knight Epic Collection Volume 4 Butcher's Moon. This one's quite unique because this one collects, get this, the second volume from Moon Knight, which is also subtitled Fist of Cthulhu, Marathon 44, which I'm not going to discuss because I discussed this already in the Spider-Man the Complete Alien Saga collection, Marfan for 30, along with issues 30, of course, there's also material from issues 30, 39, mostly backup story. The first 7 issues are Mark Spector Moon Knight, the backup story from Soul Avengers number 3, and a short story from Marvel Superheroes Volume 2, number 1. These are your writers. Kerry Burkick, Alex Zeck, who's the writer of the Mark Spector Moon Knight, who's the writer of the Moon Knight Volume 2, who also wrote the final issues of Moon Knight Volume 1. Mary Duffy, Christopher Reese as Jim Owsley, because this is what he was raised Jim Owsley, and the Senti, Chuck Dixon, who was the first writer of the Moon Knight ongoing series, Chris Walker, Roger Stern, Michael Carlin, and Robert M. Ingersoll. Greg LaRouche is your artist, along with Chris Warner, Mark Beecham, Brent Anderson, Judith Hunt, Sal Villito, Russ Heath, Larry Hama, Bob Hall, Bill Reinhold, and Mike Guvish. The front cover of this book, the one I showed you, that's the Bill Sienkiewicz cover. The back cover of the book, which we'll get to that soon, that's Carl Potts, Sal Villito, and Kevin Nolan. Now, pretty much in the way they brought back Moon Knight just less than a year. I think it was like a year. Let me take a look at that. Yeah, I think it was. Let's see. By the way, the Moon Knight issues they're releasing here, that's time period of June to December of 1985. It does skip 1 month. Yeah, for some reason, it's 6 months off. The first ever issues of Mark Spector Moon Knight released in June of 1989, includes in mid-November of 1989. Yeah, it covers the full period of 84 to pretty much about 89. Now, if you're really curious, how long had it been since the end of the previous volume of the book? It had been, at the time this book came out, let's see, the final issue was released in April 1984, so about 1 year later. Yeah, basically, Moon Knight's back in full swing. Also, his costume gets a change here, where it's got like a symbol, like it's from Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah. And I'm not sure why it's called Fist of the Cthulhu, but I think it's considered the second volume for the series. And if you're really curious, though, according to the Marvel Legacy numbering, this 6-issue miniseries is considered to be the Moon Knight issue, Legacy issues 39 to 43. That's basically, actually 39 to 44. That's the issues are considered. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the opening issue, first appearance of a man known as Anubis the Jackal. Yes, a man who's only in this one issue. Yeah, it's also Khaled. Yeah, mostly put these issues here. It's like Mark Spector continuing his mercenary book. And the opening issue, for some reason, it's a retelling of Mark Spector's origin story for some reason. But that's basically what it is there. Then issue 2 debut of character named Arthur Harrow, who was part of his organization known as Onium, who makes debut in issue number 2. Yeah. We also see first appearance of Dr. Victoria Gell. Yeah, first appearance in issue 1, and she's only in one issue. Yeah, it's basically Moon Knight versus some one-shot characters. And then in issue number 3, we see Return of Morpheus. Yeah, a recurring villain from the previous volume of the book. Yes. Yeah, this was his first, when he appeared in issue 2. This was the first time he appeared since issue 23 of the previous volume of the series. And this might shock you. He is never seen again until 13 years later in the Resurrection War miniseries. Yeah, that's when he returns. 13 issues later. Yeah, apparently he just woke up out of coma. And they also mentioned in this issue that, well, they mentioned about the death of Peter Allen Jr., who is Marlin's brother. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, like, for issue 4, we see a first appearance of Bluebeard. Oh boy, this guy here, he is weird. Oh my gosh, he's just a one-shot villain who, get this, his whole thing, he kidnaps women to be his brides. And it's like, oh, my 5th bride, I'm gonna kill you all. And after this one issue, he's never seen again. It's weird though, except for Morpheus is like a bunch of one-shot villains. And then we have, Moon Knight versus a bunch of ninjas. Which is interesting. Yeah. Yeah, and also, this I should point out though, after issue 3, Alan Lenz leaves the book, and he's actually issue 4. He's replaced on the book issue 5 with Chris Warner and Mary Jo Duffy. Not sure why though, it's weird. And in the final issue, which is Bill Sienkiewicz cover, we have the one-shot appearance of Mother White. This woman who appears as one issue, and that's it. And this is done by Jim Owsley. Yep. And then pretty much, well, they put the Marvel team-up issue before the main books here, which this kind of in a way filled in the gap between issues 2 and 3. That's when the issue was released. Actually came before that. Not sure why the book took a month off for. It was weird. And then, like, right after this book wrapped up, his next appearance would be in Mar Fanfare number 30. Yep, that would be his very next appearance. It's one of his very few spotlight books he appears in. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he appears in a backup story in the book, and this is done by Ann Nocenti and Brent Eric Anderson. Mm-hmm. And then he returned in issue 38-39. Peter B. Giles mentioned to me about this series is that the whole thing with this series is that they're unpublished stories that are set in editor's drawer for over a decade, and they just publish them in this book. Yep. Now, in the case of 38, it's mostly you have Moon Knight versus the Podunk Slum in issue number 38, and then 39. It is Moon Knight versus a terrorist, and that's it. Between these issues, there's also the issue of Solo Avengers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, issue 3, which came between the Mar Fanfare issue and, well, 30 and 38. Yeah, it's interesting. He fights basically taking deals with Shroud and Wear It by Night. Yeah, whose next appearance is in Incredible Hulk 362. And after the Mar Fanfare issue, his next appearance would be in Mark Spector Moon Knight number 1. Yep. Yeah. And it's Return of Raoul Bushman. Oh, yes. Yeah, this is actually his first appearance in issue 10 of the first volume for Moon Knight. Yeah, first appearance in 8 years, and he appears in like two story arcs of this book and a one-shot issue, and that's it. You're thinking, really? Yeah, and this is a particularly quite strange period of time. Also, Bushman is back and he kidnaps Marlene. It's like basically back to business. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, the mansion itself, when it appeared in this first issue, this is the first time it previously appeared in Marvel Fanfare 39, and afterwards, it here's the strange thing about this mansion. The last time it appeared was actually in the annual that came out very recently. That came out just last year. Yeah, that was the most recent appearance of Moon Knight's mansion. Mm-hmm. So it's like the first issue is getting everything back up and running again. Bushman's back for the opening 3 issues of this book. We have Spider-Man appearing in the book for a quick cameo, which is awesome. And after with Bushman, his country's control over a few issues. Yeah. Though next time that Bushman's group appears again, that's issue number 11. If Bushman's in the first two issues, who's issue 4? Well, it's a character named Midnight. Yes, Midnight. Jeffrey Wilde, who is the son of the original Moon Knight. Well, excuse me. He is known as Midnight. His father was the Midnight Man, who didn't really appear very much. It's like, okay, let's bring in a minor villain. Apparently, it's revealed after those few appearances he made in Moon Knight Volume 1. By issue 5, it's revealed that Midnight Man is dead. And Midnight himself basically... Oh, we also have Black Cat appearing in these issues. Now, Midnight himself, well, he'll appear as a recurring villain in this book, or a recurring character. He's here for like the first couple of years of the book. Mm-hmm. And of course, basically, we end up with dealing with him. He also have other characters with Midnight Abs joining his side. Like, first he fights him, then he basically comes... The best way to describe Midnight, he's kind of in the way Moon Knight's psychic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the reason why he's here, he's not his villain, basically just here just to be a recurring character. In issue 6, we have guest appearance by Dr. Voodoo. And then, of course, issue 7, we have, well, Death of Dr. Friday. Dr. Voodoo, that's what he's currently known as nowadays. The original was Brother Voodoo. Oh, in case you're really curious, though, he was only in this book just those 2 issues. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, basically, next thing is the opening story of Marvel Superheroes Volume 2, number 1, which you have Moon Knight take on a character named Raptor. Yep. Pretty good issues. Nothing really bad here, per se. Get this book roughly a 9 out of 10. Next up, we have pure awesomeness at its finest with, well, the penultimate epic collection to collect issues from Power Man and Iron Fist. This is the 3rd epic collection, Doombringer. Let's collect issues 90 to 107. Now, in the opening issue of this book, Eunice the Untouchable from Kenny X-Men shows up here. Yeah, and Iron Fist and Luke Cage get in the fight with him. First time they fight him, they lose. Though apparently, get this, Iron Fist's fist can actually hurt him. Yes. And of course, he's only here for this one issue, and that's it. I'm like, that's quite cool, the fact they take him on. Oh, yeah, definitely. And you think, okay, what about the rest of the book? In 91, it is, well, dealing with a character named Stoneface. Yeah, he's just a crime boss, is here for one issue. And then 92 has a return as basically take on Hammerhead and Mountain Man Marco, who last appeared back in issue 62 of this very book. Yeah. And then we have the first appearance of Chemistro. Yep. Yeah. Basically a C-lister. Yeah. This one, anyways. He appears here for issues 93 and 94. He basically is here as a recurring villain for these 4 issues. Then he pops up in Iron Man after this. It's weird, though. Even one point, it looked like he turned Colin Wing and Bob Diamond to basically glass. They got cured anyways. But I consider these issues really good. He was absent for issue 96, 95, but yeah, 95 was the wrap up of his brief little run. And then, like, we have, let's have, get this, we have taken on a character named Farah, who, not her first appearance. It was a character from Iron Fist. First time I had that in a bit. Yes. Yeah, her first appearance actually was in Marvel Premiere 15, which I believe was, I think it was also the debut of Danny Rand. Yes. And she's here for 97, 99, and 100, and she moves over to Captain America. Oh yeah, at one point, because Luke Cage got tired of some stuff going on in the neighborhood, he briefly left the gem theater, though he landed moving back at the end of an issue. Yep. And this is due to a character named Shades and Kamochi. Shades, well, who appeared in the very first issue. Yeah, and this was kind of his return to the book. First time since issue 49, since just before the book got renamed. And he's only back here for 3 issues. And then he's gone. He's not seen again until the 2000s when he pops up in the first couple of issues of Marvel Knights. Then he gets killed off in issue 1 of Shadowland Power Man. Now, of course, Shades is Luke Cage villain. What about Kamachi? Kamachi is also Luke Cage villain. He, of course, is very much alive, and his last appearance was also in issue 49 as well. Yep, and they're here for just the 3-part. Now, unlike in case of Shades who returns from Marvel Knights, he's not returning at the Shadowland. Yeah. So we'll continue finding the mixture of Iron Fist and Luke Cage villains. Love the cover by which one by Eric Can. Really fun issue. And 101 has the assistant editor this month where it looked like, they disappear, and then we have, and 102 was quite interesting, where they have this mysterious portal open, and it's the Vision who apparently is dead, though they mentioned the whole thing with Scarlet Witch. It's a great issue. I love the fact that team with Vision and Scarlet Witch, which their last appearance was back in Defenders. Yep, Defenders 123. And then we have issue 103 of this very book. And we have we have a 2-part story for a character. The story of the reason why this trade is called Doombringer. Yeah, because there's one robot who appears here for 2 issues. Yeah, he gets killed off his very next appearance. So they named the trade after a minor after a 2-shot character. And then what about the last few issues of this book? Well, we take on Firefly. Marvel's Firefly, who last appeared in issue of Nova. And also, the Black Tigers, who appear here in this one issue. It's also the first appearance of crime buster Eugene Mason. Yeah, this is his debut. Mm-hmm. He, of course, is only here for 105. And he's never seen again until Avengers issue number 18. Then he sadly dies in the opening issue of Power Man Fist Volume 2. Yep. And then we have 106 taking on Whirlwind, a Ant-Man villain. Then we have the Hammer of Judgment in 107, the finale for this book. Yeah, it's simply just a one-shot character. Yeah. But really fun issues. I thoroughly enjoyed them. I'm going to give this book a 10 out of 10. Oh, I forgot to mention basically the writers here. We have Kurt Busiek, Stephen Grant, Archie Goodwin, Alan Rowlands, art by Dennis Cohen, Greg LaRouche, and Ernie Can, Jeff Isherwood, and Richard Howell. The book covers time period of February 1983 and concludes in July of 1984. Now, this is the last of the Epic Collection I have on here, so next time we discuss Power Man Fist, individual issues to discuss the last 18 issues of this run. Excuse me, and once this book is done, there are 4 solo Luke Cage books, 1 ongoing and 3 miniseries. And then he's done. Yep, completely done. Yep. So yeah, that's it particular review. Next up's going to be, well, actually it's going to be video tonight, so see you all later for possible videos. Okay, next video.